What's up, family? Great morning, everybody. Welcome, everybody who's watching on YouTube. What's up, Insta family, YouTube family, wherever you watching this. Cheers, everybody. Great morning. Great morning, great morning. How you guys feeling today? One word. Give me one word on how you feeling today. Buenos dias. I'm excited for today's live. What's today? Wednesday, right? Unstoppable. You feeling unstoppable? I love that. I'm starting the day off happy. Okay, that's what's up. Happiness is cool. All right, good. What else, fam? I'm just waiting for more people to jump on. Let Instagram do its thing. While we wait, let me know how you feeling today, this morning. Where's your mind at? Okay, blessed. Welcome to everybody who's just joining in now. I got some great content. It's going to be a great live. How you feeling? I'm feeling great. Feeling inspired, feeling energized. Got a lot of energy, man. A lot of energy. Woke up with a lot of energy. Woke up, boom. Just let's go. Let's go. Passion, baby. Passion fuels it all. Fueled by passion. Listen, family. Here's what we need to keep in mind today as we go out through our days. As we go out through the rest of the day, we make moves. We're doing our thing. We're making connections. We're making decisions. You will be challenged today, fam. You will be challenged today. You will go through some adversity. You will go through some sort of setback. You will feel overwhelmed. Especially if you are looking to build something, if you're building something, if you're making moves, if you're making tough decisions on the day-to-day, you will feel overwhelmed and you will go through challenges, right? And we must keep this in mind. It's all part of being a human being. The challenges is part of being a human being. The anxiety, the fear, all these things, the doubts, all of this is all part of life. But what matters most is how you respond. What matters most is when you are faced to face with these challenges, the decisions you make at that very moment will determine what happens next, right? Which means how you respond to what happens will determine what happens next. So if we are face to face with a challenge and we're running away from it, then there will always be conflict. There will always be confusion. You will always move with a lack of understanding because you're not running towards it. You're not addressing it because you think that life should be all good. You think that life should be all, hey, smooth, right? It should be all smooth. It should be all straight. Like it just should be all straight, right? There shouldn't be any challenges. There shouldn't be any problem solving, but that's not part of life. What's part of life are the challenges, the difficulty. Difficulty is part of life. Why? Because everything is ever changing. Life is ever changing. Everything is always changing. Everything around you is always changing. People are changing. Things are changing. People are psychologically growing or people are psychologically dying. New people are being born every day. Babies being born. There's people who are dying every single day. Things are changing. So what does this mean? If we're not making adjustments, then what are we doing, right? We're falling behind. Life is a never-ending game of adjustments. And if we don't understand this, right? If we don't understand that, then we'll be living life wondering why things are happening to us. If we don't understand that, we'll be wondering why are there challenges? Why are there setbacks, right? We'll be complaining. We will be complaining so much to why things happen instead of saying, yep, this is all part of life. This makes sense. You can't be surprised. You can't be surprised. You can't be afraid. You have to embrace it all, right? Embrace it all. So that's something I want people to keep in mind today, right? Keep this in mind when you're going out through life and you're making decisions and you're making moves. How can I adjust? How can I adapt to what's going on, right? How can you embrace the challenges? How can you embrace what's going to happen, the inevitable, right? Trying to live a comfortable existence, trying to live all like, hey, I don't want I don't want to make any mistakes. I don't want to make any mistakes. I'm scared to make mistakes when mistakes is part of being a human being. I'm scared to fail when failure is part of being a human being. That's how you learn. It's part of every process of learning. It's part of every process of growth. It's part of every process of understanding. Getting to see the truth of what's actually going on. You make a move, you fail, then you have to make an adjustment. Again, how you respond to what happens will determine what happens next. Let me see this. Let me see the comments down here. We live and learn. Reinvent yourself. It's sad that people normalize it's life. You should figure it out. We are brought to this world without shown how to live. And that's what sucks about immature people having babies. I get what you're saying. Look. There is no blueprint on how to live. There is no blueprint on how to live. Everybody is telling you what to think and what to do, right? The important thing to show kids and the important thing to show people how to do is how to think. What's more important is how to think, not what to think, right? Because if you know how to think, you'll be like, okay, there is no blueprint to life because you're just born with there's no rule book, right? There's no rule book. Now, everybody will tell you, hey, here's the rules. Here's what to think and what to do, right? And people just accept. But when you show somebody how to think, just imagine their mentality. Just imagine their mindset, right? They're able to make adjustments based on what they feel is right for them. Showing someone how to think is like, oh, how to question, how to observe, how to adapt, how to adjust, how to understand problems in order to overcome them. Not run away from them, not complain about them, but saying, yo, how can I understand where this is coming from so I can make an adjustment? And once you make that adjustment, inevitably so, you're going to have to make another adjustment again. And that's just the never-ending cycle of life where it's all about adjustments. Now, when you stop making adjustments and you approach life with this permanency, this mindset where you want things to be permanent, you know what happens, right? You wish and hope that things stay the same. And that's when you hold on to your current situation. You hold on to your current way of doing things. You hold on to the way, to what you've built up to this point. Oh, I love this right now. I want to hold on to it as it deteriorates. Because you're not constantly making adjustments. You're not constantly adapting. You're not constantly making changes. Why? Because people do not want to feel uncomfortable. People want to hold on to the known. They don't want to make that adjustment. And that adjustment is part of life. It's what makes us human beings. Again, everything around us is changing. So if you're not constantly making adjustments, your situation, your mind, all of it is deteriorating as we speak. Also, you already started off on a note that scares me. Got to spend a day with someone who is easily triggered. Hey, look, what matters most is how you respond. Remember that. Remember that, family. What matters most is how you respond. Anxiety and fear is scary. Look, what is fear, right? What is fear? We say anxiety and fear is scary, but what are these things? What is fear? Why fear is scary? If fear is the biggest illusion of them all. Fear is what you process in your mind of what the future is going to be like, what the next moment is going to be like, right? So that means you are afraid of imagination. You are afraid of memory. You are afraid of what may happen. Not what's actually happening now, right? You're not afraid of what's actually happening now. You're afraid of what may happen. There's a strong possibility that this may happen, and I'm afraid of that. So that means when people say fear is scary, it's like, no, hold on. Fear is an illusion. Fear doesn't exist. So you're afraid of something that's not even real. So you are creating all of these limitations in your own mind when you're telling yourself, oh, this stuff is scary, or this stuff is this, or here's what's going to happen. Here's what's it. Because what? See, that fear is coming from somewhere. Where is that fear coming from? Is that fear coming from lack of preparation, lack of understanding, lack of awareness? Not realizing that it doesn't matter what happens. What matters most is how you respond. Can you imagine you go into every situation knowing that failure is a possibility, that it will happen? Like this will happen. Failure will happen. Imagine you went into every single situation in life knowing that failure will happen. Mistakes will happen. Setbacks will happen. Challenges will happen. Now, to be afraid of that means you don't understand. To be afraid of that, you're not prepared. You're not living. How can you be afraid of something that's inevitable? Right? If you want to grow, you want to learn, you want to make moves. If you want to solve a problem, you're going to have to make mistakes. You're going to have to take risk. Calculated risk. Not just blind risk, right? Oh, I hope. No, we're talking about calculated risk. Okay, boom. I go into a situation knowing that here's what may and will happen. And if it does, I have full control over how I respond to whatever comes my way. So why are we afraid of fear if fear doesn't exist? Why is anxiety scary to people when the hand shakes and the stomach is feeling filled up, right? It's feeling filled up and it consumes you. We're afraid of something that consumes us, something that's talking to us, something that's telling us, yo, you got to address this issue. You got to perform. You got to show up. People are afraid of that. Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? If you prioritize comfort, security, safety, then these things become scary. Think about it. If you prioritize the illusion of comfort, safety, and security, the illusion of that. I'm safe. Okay, cool. All right, cool. I'm safe. All right, cool. Psychologically, okay, cool. I'm safe. I'm protected psychologically. I have security psychologically. So the thought of solving a problem, the thought of taking a risk, the thought of addressing a situation, a problem, a challenge, there's fear and anxiety. It's all part of life, fam. If you want to get anything done, that's part of life. We must understand it, right? So we can adjust it and not be surprised when it happens. You got a point. We all on the journey. Some are stuck on certain levels while others continue on. It's a shame that you're getting mixed up. My daughter just turned 1 yesterday, so I'm already thinking about teaching her. Happy birthday to your daughter, bro. My daughter just turned 1 yesterday, so I'm already thinking about teaching her how to think without over-injecting my own biases. Exactly. How to think is more important than teaching one what to think. How to think is more important. Yep. Change is inevitable. I choose to evolve. Need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Need to understand that being uncomfortable is part of existing. It's part of being a human, right? It's part of getting something done. In the beginning of time, as human beings, when we were hunting and gathering, and we had to go chase the bison, we had to figure out ways to make this more efficient, right? We had to figure out ways, how are we going to catch this bison? How are we going to catch this gazelle? How are we going to climb this tree to get the apples? Or how are we going to, what are we going to eat? What's edible? What's not edible? What's poison? What's not? Someone had to take one home for the team, right? Hey, can we eat this? Oh, no, boom, someone got sick, started vomiting. We can't eat that. We got to make an adjustment. How about that one? Can we eat that? Oh, what's this? Oh, shit, let's call this an apple. We can eat this. Okay, cool. What's next? Berries. Oh, shit. Okay, can we eat this? Can we eat that other thing? No, we can't. It's a never-ending game of adjustments. Like, being uncomfortable, right, is inevitable because everything around you is always changing. Not because, look, the human mind is in a constant search of making things much more efficient, more comfortable, right? Making it easy. So it's like, okay, let's find a way to solve a problem that's difficult. Boom. Once we solve that problem, there always will be new problems. So which means being uncomfortable is inevitable. Problems are inevitable, right? Because things are constantly changing all around. People are coming out with more ideas. People are all making decisions. We're talking about millions and billions of people all making decisions all at the same time. And because of that, that has an effect on you, right? Other people's moves have an effect on you in some way. Your moves affect me. My moves affect you in some way, right? So now it's a constant, never-ending game of adjustments, of adapting, of discomfort. It's like, oh shit, okay, my situation's changing. Okay, cool. It's like people like, hey, I want a safe, secure job. Fine, you make your safe, secure job. You pay rent, right? You get a house or whatever it is. And then what happens when inflation? What happens with inflation? Hey, I got a steady income, right? While everything around me is changing. Gas prices is going up. Food is going up, right? Everything is going up. Everything around you, the cost of living is going up. They're raising the rent every year while your income stays the same. Which means what? If you're not in a constant level of adjusting and adapting, if you're not adapting and adjusting, what's happening? You're deteriorating. You're declining. So there has to be it's never ending discomfort. It's never ending. It's the understanding of that will completely eliminate all confusion. It will completely eliminate all confusion. You're like, okay, I get it. Oh, I'm not surprised when this comes up. I'm not surprised when there's challenges. I'm not surprised that what I wanted to stay the same, it didn't stay the same. I gotta make an adjustment. The world is ever changing. Fear is an illusion. Yes, needed this talk. I got you. The only thing I fear is not living up to my own standards and expectations. Death is inevitable, so it is what it is as far as that goes. Been close to death so many times to fear that or other people. Can't control the future, but I can control me. Listen, when you have expectations, there will always be problems. When there's expectations, there will always be problems. Always. Just know that. You will never live up to your expectations or your own standards, because a lot of times we create these illusions on what we think is the right or wrong way to live, right? This is the right way to live. This is my standards. This is how I live. And you put yourself in this You create this illusion within your own mind of what you think is good, bad, right, or wrong. And then you start seeing the conflict because you have these standards. And what are these standards? What are these expectations? Is it based off facts? Is it based off truth? Or is it based off what you believe to be, right? If you see it a certain way, I believe it to be this way. I want it to be this way. And if it's an illusion, if it's fantasy, you're never going to ever live up to that, right? Because you're not flexible. You're not flexible. You're not willing to make adjustments. You're not willing to adapt. You're not willing to challenge your own expectations and your own standards. You're not trying to, you're not willing to challenge your way of being. Because you're like, oh, you have this fantasy in your mind. This is the way it should be. These are my standards. These are my expectations. And with that, it will always create conflict. Always. Actually, think about the food alone. Okay, let's go down. How many of you are feeling this today, family? Give me some fire emojis today. Who is on here? You guys loving this morning? You guys on here? You guys feeling this? You guys on here? Who's on here? Give me some fire emojis in the comments below. I just put fire emojis myself down there. Just to... Because if I'm asking you to do something, I gotta do it too. I think it's fire. I think this live is fire. It's not about living a perfect life. Don't try to live a perfect life. There's no such thing as being perfect, right? There's no such thing as being perfect. It's not about living a perfect life. There's no such thing, right? There is no right or wrong way to live. There's only consequences. And if you understand that, you won't allow yourself to buy into what everybody else claims to be true. You won't buy into the expectations others put on you. You won't buy into what other people say is the way. What you do is you look at your own life and say, yo, look, this works for me. This is what I'm going to do. These are the moves that I'm going to make, right? This is what's best for someone like me. In my mentality, this is my way of doing shit, right? And then you are flexible with that way, because if it doesn't work or you make an adjustment, you're like, okay, you're not committed to something that doesn't work, right? A lot of people are committed to things that don't work. A lot of people are making moves. It's like, okay, this doesn't work, but this is the way to do it. This is how I live my life. This is the perfect way of doing it. It's like, yo, you're committed to something that doesn't work for you. So you got to create your own way. When you create your own way, right, you see it for yourself. You make decisions. You see it for yourself, right? You see the results, and then you make adjustments. And that's it. And that's it, fam. Yo, that's what I got for you guys today. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys for being on. Thank you so much. I'm gonna see if I had any other things to bring up in this. That's pretty much it, fam. That's pretty much it. So, yo, listen up. I'm out of here. Love you guys. Join me tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'll catch you guys next time, fam. Take care, y'all. Peace.